Hello, how are you today? It is Sunday afternoon, I think. I'm on lunch from my last day of SOP, which is Symphony of Possibilities, if you've not heard that before, which is the most advanced class in Access Consciousness I've taken to date. And it's been really, really incredible, actually. Like, this is a class I have been looking forward to, saving for, doing. I don't know, just like from the time I started Access, something that's been an ask of mine to be in this class. And it just occurred to me that all the notifications from the class are gonna keep coming in on my phone while I'm doing this, but that's okay. But yeah, so I have been so much. It's interesting, actually. Up till today, I can't even say I was so much space. I was so aware. And sometimes, hi Rogerio, sometimes awareness can look a lot like anxiety. And I had about 3 days where I was feeling really, really aware. And I kind of knew that it wasn't mine. And I had some people in my world going through some things in their life, and I was aware that it really wasn't mine, it was theirs. And I hadn't even talked to them, but I was aware that this was happening. And so today, I woke up with this like incredible sense of space, and I was like, oh, none of that was mine. And I knew it wasn't mine is the thing. And I returned to center with consciousness and Pound Factor where I bought it was mine. But I had a lot of things that came up as a result of some of the awareness I was feeling. And so there was a lot of clearing and a lot of pot and pocking to do. And today I woke up and it was just space. And I was like, oh, cool. So I'm really grateful that day 4 of SOP, I have really like, I wish I could say I'm like, hanging on every word that Dane has said, but I'm definitely going to have to re-listen because there's things that are just like buzzing so much in my world. But that is the beauty of these classes, is that we get the replays and we get to re-listen, and it's all good. But what I really wanted to come in here and talk to you about is actually a text I got about an hour ago, maybe not even that, from a close friend, that like took me down this rabbit hole of like how everybody does this. So he texted me and he said something to the effect of, I realize how many rules I've put around my business, and it's less fun now. Imagine that. When we put rules and regulations around things, they're not as fun. Shocking. So, but how much do we do that? How much have we put rules around what we're supposed to be and come to conclusions about what things are supposed to look like? So whether it's our business, or whether it's a relationship, or whether it's what it means to have a day of relaxation, even if we've decided that that must mean a certain thing, that means I'd have to go to a spa, or that means I take a bath, or that means all the ways that we've come to conclusion about what anything actually is in our life, and all the rules that we've put around things create a limitation. And so when we set up a business, is just a great example of like, oh, well, I need my business to look like this, and I need it to, have this many people in it, and I need to make this much money in it, and it needs to happen. I need to post on social media every day at this time. I need to, all these conclusions that we come to, and how that actually becomes a limitation, because then we're not willing to say, okay, well, what else? What else is possible? What else might show up? And does it suck the joy right out of things? You bet. So there's a clearing in Access, and if you've been in Access anytime, I'm sure you've heard the clearing, and if not, this will probably be new for you. But it's one that I've ran a lot, and I realized today I really would like to put on a loop and just listen to like through the night all the time. But the clearing goes, what energy, space, consciousness, and choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can me and my body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of form, structure, and significance, out of concentricity, and out of linearity with total ease. And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, destroy it and create it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, how there's a lot of energy. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and what that actually is, because most people go, well, I don't want to be out of control, because you've heard that as a negative connotation your whole life. I can think of, friends I had who were doing interesting things when we were young, and my parents would say, oh, she's so out of control, like it was this bad thing. And so everything you've decided it means to be out of control, you destroy and create it. Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, pep, pack, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if you've never heard that before, if this is your first time listening to anything I've done or anything in Access Consciousness, that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com to get more information about what that is. Basically, it just kind of like you pull up the energy of something and it just like knocks it all out. So, but I wanted to read you something from the book Money Isn't the Problem You Are, which is one of my favorite books. I just did a class on it, and I do lots of classes on it because I love it. So, that is not the page I wanted. Here we go. So, it says out of control versus uncontrol. It's different. So, it says we tend to control ourselves with the limitations that we create. We create controls around ourselves about what we will receive, what we won't receive, what is possible, what is not possible, what we think it's good to look like, and what we want it to look like. We think this puts us in control, but you don't want to be in control. You want to be out of control. You have to get to the point where you're willing to be totally out of control. I'm not talking about being out of control in the sense of being drunk and disorderly, which is what I think most of us think of. Nor am I talking about speeding at 8,000 miles per hour down the freeway. I'm not talking about getting naked in public or that sort of thing. That's uncontrol. What you want to be is out of control. The problem in your life is that you are not out of control. We tend to spend a lot of our time sitting in judgment, trying to figure out how to control ourselves so we can get along in the world. When we are out of control, we are willing to exist outside of the normal box and the normal points of reference. Being out of control is not being uncontrolled, and it's not being drunk and disorderly. It's about not letting the controls of other people's points of view, other people's realities, judgments, and decisions be the controlling factors in our lives. Being out of control is taking away those things where you're giving away parts of your life to others and have made them more powerful than you. To be out of control is no longer to be the effect, but to be the source. You want to be out of control because you've defined your life. You have the box of your life defined and confined. You've created the coffin you call your life. You think that's a lie because you're living within a coffin, but you're living within a coffin. If you would break down those confines, you start to create from a sense of out of control. Once you're willing to be out of control, you're willing to be out of the coffin you've created as your life. You don't look past experience as the source of what you're going to create in the future. You start to live in the moment. Instead of trying to come up with answers based on your limited points of view, you empower the universe to give you the answer. So, a little different than we've thought of it, or at least than I had thought of it, but being willing for things to show up beyond what you've defined your life to be, beyond what you've decided is the box that you're supposed to be in. So Gary calls it a coffin in that, right? But and if that's like, well, that's a lot, but he does that to create a charge, right? So, but if you think about, all the boxes that we've put ourselves in, all the ways that we've concluded about what we're supposed to be, and how that creates limitation. One of the things that Dane said day one of SOP, which was now 4 days ago, which is insane to me, but was he said something about how he defined himself as what it meant for him to be a chiropractor. Thank you, Rogerio. And I realized how many ways I had decided what it meant to be a psychologist and how that box was keeping me so limited. And then the other thing I've done is this resistance and reaction to thing to be like, I don't want to be a psychologist anymore because it means I have to be all these things and I have to be in this confined box. And so I don't want the box. So then I don't want to be that anymore. And what I'm starting to get to now, we're all on a journey. I don't claim to have all the answers, and we're all, figuring it out all the time without actually having to figure anything out and just asking the universe for more beyond all the limitations to show up. But what I'm getting to is that I don't actually have to be in the box of what I've concluded it means to be a psychologist. I can be a psychologist in the way that works for me and in the way that is actually creating more in my life, and I can do so much more. It's not all I have to be. I can be that, and I can be 100 other things, and I can be everything that actually creates my life as living as me. And so would you be willing to come out of all the conclusions, all the ways that you've decided that you have to be, whether it's in any area of your life, whether it's in your job or your profession or your place that you work, or if it's what your friends think that you are, or what you've decided you have to be for your parents or for your children, or what it means to be a parent, all the ways that you've concluded and decided what you have to be, would you be willing to be completely out of control and completely come out of that, whatever that means, without having to define it. Everything that brings up, will you destroy it and create it? Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, 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 online, shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah. And, you know, we started on this talking about rules, you know, and like, so there's these conclusions and there's rules. They're kind of one and the same and they're kind of different. And, you know, but it's like the ways that we've created rules about what we have to be because we're afraid that if we didn't follow the rules, we'd get in trouble, right? When were we taught that? Only our whole childhood. Here are the rules. Let's come to our, you know, first day of kindergarten. Okay, we're gonna go over the rules. And if you don't follow these rules, these are the consequences of what will happen. And how much has that actually stuck us? And what if there were no rules? And what if you stopped living your life based on rules and instead started to base your life on awareness and on asking questions and asking, like, all right, if I choose this, what will that create? Is a different energy than these are the rules that I must follow for my life. Because when you follow your life based on a set of rules, that is all that will ever be able to show up, is you in the box following the rules. But if you start to function from awareness and you start to ask questions and say, okay, what else? What else? If I do this, what will this create? If I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? What will my life be like in a year if I choose this? And start to really function from light and heavy, which is like a whole other conversation. I'm realizing, like, oh, I could just keep going. But if you're like, but what did you mean? Basically what's true for you will always make you feel lighter. What's heavy for you is a lie. So I look, and when I create classes, when I go to classes, when I'm choosing what to do, when I'm choosing anything in my business, it's not from a set of rules and regulations. At least we're getting better at this. And start asking, is this light? You know, if I choose this, what will that create? If I choose this, what will that create? And following the energy of whatever that is, even if it doesn't make any logical sense, even if it doesn't, you know, I chose a class in Florida that I booked my flight. I haven't finished booking, but coming up, and it's not anywhere towards my journey to certified facilitator in Access. It's just a class I really wanted to take in Access, and I wanted to take it for a long time, and I'm aware of it. I'm very aware of it in my world, and it's been present for a while, and I really adore the facilitator, and I've never taken a class with her. And so I'm excited. I'm going to do this. And it doesn't make any sense. And anybody who's like been watching my road to CF, as we call it, is like, but that's not on your road. That's not on your path. But I realized I've spent my whole life doing this, like blinders, you know, they like where you only see what's in front of you, that I like put on the horses to like keep them going straight, so that I never veered off, so that I was never willing to be anything that was outside of the box, outside of the rules, outside of all the conclusions I'd come to about what I had to be and what I had to do. And it's real easy to do that with anything. And so I realized I was doing that too, a little bit, with becoming a certified facilitator in Access. And I will, by the end of the year, it'll happen. But when something's really loud and light in my world, I'm willing to choose it, because I get that it will create greater. I'm still asking questions. You know, I was playing with a couple different classes that I wanted to take, and I just asked questions. What will this create if I choose this? What will this create if I choose this? And where it's light, I follow the energy. And, you know, and it's something I play with all the time, because it's so easy and it's so deeply ingrained with us to come to a conclusion, to follow the rules, to do what we're told, to do what makes sense logically in this reality. And that's still being totally controlled by other people, by other people's judgments, by all the stuff in this reality right now. So everything that is, and everything that brings up, and everywhere you're resisting being out of control because you don't know what will show up, would you be willing to destroy and create it? Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, POD, online, shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. So I'm going to give you that clearing one more time, and then I'll let you go on with your Sunday. And I'm going to eat some food because I'm starving, but I had this energy in my world, and I was like, if I go eat, I'm going to get tired. And I hear all the conclusion in that too. But I was like, all right, we're going to do it now. And I have this on my computer obviously pulled up, because I do not have this memorized as much as I use it. So What energy, space, consciousness, and choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you and your body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of form, structure, and significance, out of concentricity, and out of linearity with total ease? Yeah, and everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy it and create it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I'm distracted by all this stuff coming in. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And I'm going to be playing a little bit more with this, because when we look at, so this is like, I know, I'm like, I'm done. But, you know, we look at this with like one thing. My friend texted me this about his business, but this relates to everything in our lives. And when we're willing to stop concluding things and really come out of the control that we've placed on ourselves up to this point, that is when the money just starts to flow. You know, one of the questions I ask, I think I posted in here maybe a couple weeks ago about like my morning mantras, which you can still get if you, I'll repost the link actually, but like all the questions I ask and play with in the mornings. But one of them is, you know, what would it take to be like out of control with money flows? And I think it's something about chaos. I'd have to look at it, but something about creating chaos with money flows, or like to have so much money coming in that's, you know, you don't know what to do with, kind of a thing. And it's started to show up in such a different way. It's been really, really fun. So that's a great one. And I'll post it because I don't remember what the exact question is. But anyways, all right, you guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.